Every map kid did this. I still do this as a map adult too. Theme parks, zoos, massive attractions, tourist traps, they were the places where the map stopped being a city and it started being your imagination. But here's the thing, in real cities, these kind of places aren't just fun, they're actually big planning problems. They cause massive traffic issues, they distort land values, they demand parking, transit, services, all at once. If you put them in the wrong place, the city will break around them. You put them in the right place, they become an anchor and become entire districts. This is a Wet n Wild with the world's largest wave pool that's opening, surf rider, play pool, and this is like a crazy tube rider. I wonder how many guests would not make it out alive on that one. Water slides, and I did it right near the wetland and near the airport so people can jump off the plane, get a bus over and end up at Wet n Wild. Of course, there's coach parking and VIP parking. It's next to a future eco site. This is kind of also a theme park when you have an arboretum where you can come and look at all the trees, maybe an older person's kind of theme park. Even zoos are kind of like their own theme parks. I love the Aussie land here. It'd be like kangaroos and koalas that you can just pat. This is like one of my favorite things to do on a map. And this zoo is like right near the city in prime real estate. It would have been there before the city fully developed. And you've got to have like your budget tourist attractions like the Pioneer Safari Park where you can clearly drive your way around and the lions are so old and so sick they've got no chance of jumping up to your car to try and eat you. But the best thing that you can have is a tourist trap area. Fort Sandwich is mine. Hibana go-karting. It's the sort of place that you go to on a family budget. You spend way too much money than you should and the tourist attractions are just dodgy and scammy. Like Fort Sandwich, that's like a fake castle built at the top of the hill with a so-called historic hotel, a lighthouse that's not even real, and you spend a lot of money at the tourist info and the museum. It also comes over to Mango Mania with a giant mango, a toboggan run. You can have a picnic on the beach, but the problem with this beach with some very bad urban planning is that there's the Leon Perez waste treatment, Cheryl's Point, next to a Catholic primary school too, and a yoga wellness center. See, this city, this suburb, this LGA is by a diabolical mayor who only cares about kickbacks and money, and he just zones whatever will give him the most cash. There's a few more places is the Playmobil Family Fun Resort. Couldn't get Lego. Lego said nope, not living next door to Mango Mania. So they got the next best thing, which is the Playmobil Family Fun Resort. I do like putting Ferris wheels, and you can stay at caravan parks nearby, like the Sandy Beach Caravan Park. You can go through the driving range, the putt-putt, hide your kids' eyes as you go past the casino, maybe stop at bowling, laser tag. See, it's got that whole vibe of going there for a whole week on $500 with a family of 5 and coming home with actually credit card debt. Here's the bottom of that safari park, and it's actually got a cycle entrance. That just proves that the lions are really old. You can ride through it on a bicycle. And your city needs aquariums. This one has dolphins, which is kind of not the right thing to do. It's giving me San Diego SeaWorld vibes. It's next to a boardwalk with a fun park that kind of makes me feel like it's the Santa Monica Pier. It's in the Hot Dogs Lagoon, but there is a bison's mangrove wetland where you can't take your boat. If you're wondering how places like the Mango Mania and Playmobil can get away with this, is because some theme parks, like in the US, are legally a city-state, like the Reedy Creek Improvement District. It's what Disney is. It's kind of like its own city. It can issue its own building permits. It's like a privately run council, and it can write its own fire code. So that's how I imagine the Fort Sandwich Playmobil Family Fun Resort to run. This is an interesting one. I put this one out in the suburbs and out in the west of the city because it gets really hot out here, like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. So like a wave pool and a fake man-made beach and a lake next to all the urban sprawl in the homes. Now this is actually a really good planning decision and a really good council that did this. Now, one of the interesting things about Plymouth Zoo here is that it doesn't follow what is the tradition known about putting exits in your theme parks, which is called planning for panic, and often theme parks will put multiple exits that are hidden. So if there's a fire or something bad that happens, that people can leave the theme park quite easily. With this one, it would break all forms of zoning code, and it would be because the zoo is super old and was put here in the 1900s, because the only way in and out is this road and this wharf, maybe this beach somehow if you're going to swim, but it's really quite far and would be shark infested. And did you know that theme parks are often exempt from local parking minimums? And that's on purpose. Normal cities have parking ratios. The reason why they can get away with this is because most theme parks have their own internal transport. Plus, they don't want their guests thinking about cars. I really do like this theme park that I made though, the Jenkins Jurassic Park, and kind of reminds me of the Jurassic World video game, Stego Lake. This is like, in my embodiment, like the LA tar pits in this section of the theme park. Quite often you will find theme parks that are zoned next to large green spaces or botanical gardens. This is the Wattle Grove, and this has a few of its own attractions in it, like an eco EV cart, a children's train, has its own maze, and a pond. So a botanical gardens can also be somewhat seen as a tourist attraction, and an interesting thing is that most US parks legally count as special event zones. They're not normal public spaces, so you can't protest on them. Protest rights don't apply. Places like this would also employ their own private security, which means they can make their own rules and can kick you out just like the police, maybe even hold you in like their own little jail. And another one modeled on the Santa Monica Pier, right next to a nice boardwalk, an urban planning college, hurrah, and a casino. So did you do this sort of stuff when you were a map kid? Or maybe you're a map adult and theme parks and tourist attractions are your most favorite things to draw? I think they're second for me, just behind drawing massive motorways and spaghetti interchanges. Love them.